In the shadow of Nigeria's capital city, Abuja, a disturbing reality unfolds. Women who use drugs are not only battling drug dependency, but also facing a hidden epidemic of sexual harassment, one that is shrouded in stigma and silence. Women who use drugs navigate a perilous landscape where addiction intertwines with abuse, and their survival often comes at the cost of their dignity. These women are not statistics. They are mothers, daughters, and sisters whose stories remain largely untold.
Sexual harassment is when like a man tries to touch a woman without her consent. And there are different types of harassment. A lot of people don't know that. There is physical harassment and there is verbal harassment. You understand? And there is actually emotional harassment.
Sexual harassment is like the violation of the sexual right of a person, like forcefully forcing your way into someone without their permission, sexually, like touching them in inappropriate places and stuff like that. That's just what I feel like is sexual harassment.
As an FSW, to have non-betrayed and betrayed base. It doesn't mean that if you are in a brothel, somebody they can harass you too. Without your consent, somebody wants to have sex with you without your consent. Sexual harassment.
And unwanted sexual behaviors that makes people feel uncomfortable. And
sexual harassment is all about people molesting you unwarrantedly. I don't really have idea about that. I don't have idea.
Your dad will just look at yourself. Babe, how far can we? I say, sometimes I will just, I will give you blow. I will slap you now if you know come up for here. What you take me for? How they do me like this now? Sometimes I go to water some another person will come. Or a female like that, or even a guy too. They just come and touch my boobs and I say, why would they do like this? I don't understand now. Don't you say, just say you want to go and touch you for one time like this. I will say, they try that kind of situation, I will blow you.
1 in 3 women worldwide experience physical or sexual violence, and women who use drugs are at the bottom of that pyramid. They are disproportionately affected by this epidemic.
Sexual harassment is something the key population faces on daily basis, which are influenced by our culture, our tradition, by even the law, like the SSMPA law that is in country currently. So it's something we see on almost on daily basis. So it's something that cannot be overruled. So on this, because I attend to the key population, especially the people who inject drugs and also the MSM, like as I earlier said. So all this particular set of community pass through this sexual harassment on a daily basis, and in the counseling room we have a series of reported cases on sexual harassment, either coming from the angle of the community and also from the community to even the medical personnel that is attending to them. So it's something we see on a daily basis here.
Of course, we also know that sexual harassment is easy to sweep under the table. A lot of times people don't know that what they do is sexual harassment.
I'm talking out of experience because I'm a period woman. Most of the time in a bunk, when we go to bunk like that, most of the time we face such challenges there. As a period woman, we normally inject ourselves. In the process, we mix with men and women there. Most of the times, a man will come and say he wants to, when you are high, anything can happen there. So in that process, he may like to touch you where you don't want him to be touching you, and for you to react there, most of the time, period, how they normally do. When you are high, you can do whatever you want to do.
I think like 2 occasions.
Okay.
I've experienced that. First, there was one that had to do with we were arrested by police. It was in the night. I and a male friend. So the policeman now saying that it was a guy, and that's to my own understanding that it was a guy and a girl. So they searched us. Nothing was on our body. It was just this Rizla. because I wanted to smoke loud that night. So it was even on our way coming back from getting it now that we were arrested. So they picked us and that we must go to police station with them. We begged them, they refused to. So all of a sudden I noticed they put the guy behind the car. That's like
It's
their van, yeah, they're behind them. Me, they put me inside in the car. So I was just sitting down, I was like begging them, we're like, let's even give them small change so that they'll just let us go. Since they didn't get it, it's just that risk that they saw on us. The man was like, no, he refused that. It was not like approaching, touching me, coming to touch my neck. I was like, sir, what's happening? Why are you're arresting me and you're still wanting to touch me? Because there are things I don't really like, that I don't feel it's normal. Because she's a girl, you pick her, you arrest her, for example, and you want to like use her.
I've seen someone, right, who has been sexually harassed, well, but I wouldn't want to spill it. It's a situation where you see that someone with an upper position, all right, influence. Yes, influence, tries to oppress another person who is not up to that level, right, so that maybe the person can get just so that he can at the end of the day do what the person says. I don't understand, something like that office kind of setting where boss will tell you, say, oh well, you need to do the needful.
I went out to somebody. I don't know that guy has two friends in the south waiting. Then I went there. He was the one that took me there, but three of them want to have sex with me, so I burst into a fight with them. It's by God's grace that I escaped, but my shirt was torn, so I left there without no dress.
The harsh reality is that despite increased awareness, many cases of sexual harassment go unreported. Survivors, especially women who use drugs, often fear that reporting will lead to stigma, judgment, and further trauma rather than justice. This fear, combined with a deep-rooted distrust in institutions, leave them to suffer in silence, their voices unheard, and their struggles unseen.
The thing is, the society has shaped people in such a way that even if you approach the authorities or maybe people who are above you in age and tell them about sexual harassment, nobody tends to believe. And even if they believe, it's hard for people to confront these perpetrators of sexual harassment, like especially those that are in power or those that have money or the elites in the society.
In Nigeria, when you look at our customs, our traditions, our religious belief, all those areas criminalized KP activity. So when you are a KP and certain things happen, you may not always feel free to discuss it with anybody for fear of stigma and discrimination.
In most cases, when some will voluntarily say yes, I want the case to be taken up, then along the side they will decline. It's just like you're leaving you in the middle of deep blue sea. They don't, because probably because of stigma, because of the fear of the unknown, because of threat, because of financial issues, because we don't really have that legal backing that much when it comes to a bigger case. So most of them just tend to decline, and some of them just decide to let it slide when it has to do with their source of income. Let's take, for instance, when it's harassment from workplace, they feel, oh, if I should report this case, I'll lose my job and I don't have any backbone, I don't have any place to go, so I just manage it and I just move on with it. So they tend not to take the case up.
Acts of violation usually occur, even in the smallest terms. So it is good that when such do occur, the individual who is being harassed need to report.
Support systems for women who use drugs and experience sexual harassment are inadequate. Organizations like Auta Maimasa Health Foundation is working tirelessly to address these issues through training, media advocacy, and stakeholder collaboration. The reality is that resources and services remain scarce and often inaccessible to those who need them the most. Organizations like Olive Right to Health Initiative are also at the forefront of
And most
providing
of the time,
psychological,
when some
medical, and
organizations
psychosocial
who are
support for
supposed to
survivors
protect
and
the
key populations in
KPs
Nigeria.
are rather the ones hunting them. Let's say when you see some law enforcement agents who are supposed to act as a defense to citizens rather than looking at maybe sexual identity, they look the other way and even turn the whole scenario upside down. You will see a scenario where somebody may be working for one reason or the other, is apprehended. Instead of acting on why are you here at this particular time, they begin to search you, to look for lube, to look for condom, to look for... So they start asking you some questions that are not warranted. And by the time you try to defend yourself, before you know, you are already being abused.
Work basically for the promotion, protection, and enforcement of rights of all citizens within Nigeria. And we do this in collaboration with all stakeholders, including people that work within the civil society space, NGOs, and other agencies of government. We focus in our work, particularly for more protection, persons that are considered to be vulnerable. One of such people are key population members, and these key populations can be unbundled to include women, children, persons with disabilities, people that use drugs. We flag for special protection even women that use drugs because of the vulnerability they face in the society. And so the essence of coming together with agencies like Auta Maimasa to discuss on how to protect women that use drugs is because the society kind of violates their human rights by, increasing their vulnerability. So it's always good to increase visibility around these issues because the challenges keep changing from time to time. So we need to continue to come together, discuss these challenges, and increase protection measures for all of them.
There is need for legislation to protect this class of our citizens, because as a citizen, the government owes you the obligation to protect you.
It's necessary for government to take action in curtailing sexual harassment, especially in reviewing some of the existing laws we have that in some way or the other do not protect people seeking justice for sexual harassment, especially the need to provide evidence for cases of rape and physical harassment. Civil society organizations, community-based organizations, even communities themselves need to talk about sexual harassment because most of the harassment happen close to home.
Talking about public health institutions, we have the government agencies, we have institutions that are of educational status. The key thing is awareness. The key thing is education. Once people are educated in every aspect of sexual harassment, their human rights, then people that are perpetrators are kind of stopped. There is now a barrier that means that that's already a barrier for somebody to invade your space.
For us as religious organization, we are out educating religious leaders, for religious leaders also to be able to sensitize their faith community, for people to understand what sexual harassment is, so that we will not be doing more harm than good in our faith congregation. The religious leaders will continuously and keep sensitizing their faith congregation on how to coin or arrest every form of sexual harassment within their faith community, within their local community and thereabouts, and also to government. It's for us to see that what we need to put actions, we need our actions to speak louder than the voice, or the action should match the voice. Sometimes some of these laws are enacted, but there are no enforcement over it. And for sexual harassment, there have actually not been laws to coin or to hot issues around sexual harassment. So I think the government can also look at, let's review our VAP law that we have. So many laws are being enacted. How are they? Have we worked with it? Are they strengthened? Do we need to review a lot of the law? Yes, we need to review. So I'm calling on the government, I'm calling on everyone that the VAP law needs to be reviewed and actions needs to also be taken.
Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. Say no to sexual harassment. When you see something, say something.
Stop sexual harassment.
Stop sexual harassment.